Fox News alert, countless people across the globe mourn the victims in the terrorist attack on that French newspaper, Charlie Hebdo, but others are actually attacking the journalists who died. The Financial Times newspaper posting an op-ed slamming them for, quote, just being stupid. And it's not the first time. When terrorists firebombed the paper in 2011, a Time magazine op-ed stated in this country, not only are Charlie Hebdo's Islamophobic antics futile and childish, but they are also openly begging for the very violent responses from extremists. Really? Shouldn't a free press be allowed to publish whatever they want without being killed by Islamic extremists? Shouldn't they? Joining us right now, he is an editorial cartoonist known for his defense of free speech. Michael Ramirez joins us today from Irvine, California. Michael, good morning to you.
Steve, it's great to be on with you.
At the very core of what has happened is these intolerant Islamic terrorists attack people for drawing cartoons.
Yes, it's terrible. These evil actions ought to be condemned, but also the evil they represent needs to be condemned. I mean, this wasn't just an attack on cartoonists. This was an attack on freedom and liberty. As I've said before, it's an attack on freedom-loving people everywhere.
But you know what they're trying to do, Michael? It's intimidation. They want people, if they're going to be critical of Islam, their contorted version of Islam, radical Islam, they want people to think twice. Maybe I better not be critical, or they might come after me.
Well, that's exactly right. Freedom of speech is a universal right. It's a universal human right. The right to freedom of expression sustains and preserves our liberty. You know, France has got a rich history of satire with Voltaire, and when you think of Henri Daumier and his cartoons, they should not be intimidated by these evil acts, these cowards that subvert religion to promote their political cause.
Yeah. Michael, would you have ever created a cartoon like the one that Charlie Hebdo ran that caused the outcry from the Islamic radicals?
You know, probably not. When I put together editorial cartoons, it's a journalistic act. And one of the things you have to really contemplate is whether the content, the message you're getting through is reaching the public, because that's what we want to do. We want to influence the political discussion. You don't draw controversial cartoons just for the sake of controversy, just like you don't draw humorous cartoons for the sake of humor. You're trying to make a point. You're trying to sell an issue. And if the controversy overshadows the point that you're making, then you don't really do your job. It's a journalistic endeavor.
Sure.
However, the content of these cartoons is really immaterial. It's about the freedom of expression and the right to do it. I mean, when you think about our current administration and the president, they tried to sell us on the fact that the world is safer, that the war on terror is over. You know, if you like your security, you can keep it. Obviously, this pre-9/11 mentality is untrue. Now imagine a world where you didn't have the freedom or the freedom of the press, journalists, editorial cartoonists to point this out.
Absolutely. You know, Michael, we love the cliche that the pen is mightier than the sword, but the pen needs protection too.
Absolutely. Editorial cartoons, satire, they're a check to the erosion of our liberties and a first line of defense against the unrestrained power of government or those people who want to limit our freedoms or who would attack our freedom. This free exchange of ideas is necessary to advance enlightenment. You know, whether you agree with the speech or not, it's important to have that dialogue. And political cartooning has been a long history of pushing forward issues and points that are very, very important. When you look at what Thomas Nast did at taking down the corruption in New York, these things are essentials, I think, for civilization.
Absolutely. Michael Ramirez, who is based out in California, gets up really early to be with us on Fox and Friends. Sir, thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet.